Doris Gamdidi. I am the creative director and CEO of EveAfrique Designs. I'm a mom, I'm a businesswoman, I'm also a boss. And I'm also the founder and president of the Port Harcourt Female Designers Association. I am from Bayelsa State, the heart of the Niger Delta. And today I am just going to explain a bit of what I do and why I love to do what I do. I'm a designer. I don't only make clothes. I like to, put the whole package together, which is just making women look good. EveAfrique is a business that has been thriving for 15 years. We're in existence to fill a void, to make women feel good of all ages, all sizes, regardless of, what they look like. We just like to make women look good, and we've successfully done that for 15 years.
Good morning, Doris.
Good morning, Mom.
Quite a robust profile, I must say. How do you feel being here this morning?
I feel great. I feel humbled at the same time, having to sit next to you.
What? Okay, so, was it fashion for you all along, or it just happened?
Fashion happened. It was actually art for me all along, because I knew at a young age, at 3, I was drawing. I couldn't let go of a pen or a crayon. So for me, that I thought was what I would, saw the world with. That was what I thought I could feed, live large with. But obviously, reality quickly sets in. So fashion was something that I chose later on in life.
What do you call reality in that context?
Reality in the sense that you come down to real world, because as an artist, especially in the region I chose to settle, which was River State, fine art is not something that was celebrated. So it wasn't being purchased as much as our counterparts in Lagos, were doing very well with. So immediately I got out of school, you don't depend on your parents again for money. So you need to start looking for something that can sustain you. And art wasn't doing that. It's not just the sustainability, it was even the appreciation. It wasn't there in River State as at then. I remember doing my first solo exhibition, the celebration of womanhood. You wouldn't believe that the one I did in Port Harcourt, I couldn't get the audience to turn up. But I traveled as a young 18-year-old with my elder sister as my manager back then. Went to Lagos. We got the Lagos State's governor's wife to attend. We got Luremi Tinubu then. We got Erelu Dosumu. We got the likes of Corsi. She was a big-time surgeon.
At that time.
Yes. So we got all of them to attend. That was Lagos. They understood art. They didn't even check my background. They didn't care where I was coming from, but they wanted to identify with art, and they came. And the next phase was in Bayelsa, where we had the then president's wife to attend to, and the governor, the late governor, yes, he was there in attendance, and the president's wife was also there in attendance. So it broke my heart that my own state, which is River State, not by by birth, but I've lived here all my life. I couldn't get the support that I needed, but I got it from faraway Lagos and next door Bayelsa. So all that made me switch gears.
Yeah. So can we say it's a Port Harcourt thing? Do you think?
Yes.
Or has anything changed?
Not so much. Not so much. If I'm being truthful, not so much. That's why when you see somebody come out from Port Harcourt, they excel really fast.
Wow.
What that does is that you don't have your own people supporting you, and it means you have to keep doing well, because yes, maybe if you get those praises really early, it might get into your head. But in Port Harcourt, you'll be doing your best. Nobody cares. Nobody will celebrate you. Nobody will recognize you. But just get out of this town, and people will begin to see your potential and see your grace. And that's when the Port Harcourt people want to call you back and celebrate you. And this is not just because of the Burna Boy thing. This is something that's happened over time. Yeah.
So are you saying, or by your experience, you think we don't have an enabling environment here for the arts?
I just feel that, how they say that saying that a king is not celebrated in his own home. That is the only story I see playing in River State. We're just not celebrated at all until others begin to celebrate you before they start to recognize you, which is a shame coming from me anyway.
Okay, so when you left university, did you have any particular plan? Did you have a laid or detailed plan as to how to manage your life going forward?
Yes, going back to when I said reality setting, immediately I got out of school, I knew at a very young age in my life, I knew I was never going to work. I said that to myself because I knew I was going to do something that I love and I won't see it as work, and it will still pay my bills.
All right.
So I graduated Uniport Fine and Applied Art, and very quickly I noticed that it was hard to sustain myself. Anybody that is an artist know that practicing art is very expensive.
It is.
A good brush goes for at least 7,000 to 8,000, and that's one brush, and you might probably need 10 to 15 while putting up a painting. Everything was expensive, so I couldn't sustain myself in the business anymore. So I started dabbling with alternating my clothes. I will do that with myself, play around with fabrics, because I was already good with colors and shapes and forms, so it was easy to just do that with clothes by myself. And when you go out, people be like, "Oh, sorry, Doris, I would like to know who designed this for you. I want it." And that quickly started hitting me. I'm like, I did this in my spare time in the house, and people are asking to know who did it, like it was professionally done. So that quickly made me know that, okay, this is another channel. You can still practice art and still make money off. And back then, 15 years ago, we were very few in the business. I will proudly say that at some point I was making clothes for the old women in Port Harcourt, because call it, say, a governor's wife, a commissioner, a House of Assembly member. I've worked with all of them because we were few. You could call like 5 people making clothes in Port Harcourt. So it was good then, and for me, that was where the whole switch started. I just didn't find the time to paint anymore, and I am happy that I could still, make women look good on fabrics.
Wow. So, I mean, the name Jazz Effect, how did it come about?
Yeah, when I knew I was going to now start a brand with this fashion, I now said I wanted a name that had to do with, I love music, For me, I couldn't do without it. When I was in school, I was the only female artist in my set, and even 3 sets even after me. So how I would get on with the guys, with all those testosterone in the room, was to play music and dance. So I love music, and I wanted my fashion, which I still relate as art, to tell that rhythmic story. So the name jazz actually comes from jazz music. As we know, jazz music is one of the most complex music to play, read, understand. So that's how my pieces come. But when you put everything together, they synchronize and tell a beautiful story. So the name jazz came from jazz music, with all the instruments you need to put together to make that beautiful sound. So that's the relation. So it's a background from music into fashion.
And I must say indeed that your designs, though complex, they come out beautifully.
Thank you, Ma.
Being a wearer, I've worn you. I think all through 2020, I wore you basically.
Yes, you did, and we are so glad you did. Thank you, Ma.
So, was there any formal training of any sort?
No. Funny enough, I tell people and nobody believes, or sometimes people believe, and seeing my background from art, I have never, I've always said I was going to find time to do it, but I've never gotten any formal training in cloth making or fashion itself. I think back then there was no YouTube, so there was no online lessons. YouTube. Yeah, so what I would do then is to pick up, I would go there and, oil mill, get second new clothes, pull them apart, see how they were made, then try to put it back together. That was actually how I taught myself how to sew.
Yes, I mean, so, it brings back memories of my
I
own
understand.
time.
Yeah, I wish I actually got formal training, but I still now don't have the time. You know how we're busy chasing money. But yes, I did. I'm kind of a self-taught fashion designer.
And do you think there's anything you're missing in that regard, in terms of training? Is there any aspect of dressmaking that you're not versed in?
Yeah, the one thing I would really love to go and learn, and probably would maybe be out of this country, is to learn how to drape from like masters. I love the whole storyline of draping, and it's the one thing I know I need like proper lessons on. Yes, we all play with fabric. It's not like I've never draped in my life, but you know, to get into that whole zen of draping where you can just pick up a 20-yard fabric and drape it into something beautiful. I would love to be able to do that someday. So I haven't closed the chapter. I'm going to actually learn how to.
Okay, so but we thought, I mean, that the 2013 International Port Harcourt International Fashion Week gave you a chance to an international training.
Okay, that I never got around to doing that. That never happened.
Okay, why you declined?
Some sort.
Okay, you didn't take up that opportunity.
The opportunity didn't come through at
the time.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you didn't pull through.
Yes.
Okay. But that was a government intervention, wasn't it? A River State government intervention.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
it was.
All right. Okay, so how do you keep reinventing? Because fashion has greatly evolved from where you started and to where we are. I mean, you are always, I remember jazz effect, you know. If I recall, even our third Red Bull, we had invited you to come and do a runway show and all of it. And you remain relevant till today.
That's because for me, this is my everyday life.
Okay.
It's just how as women, you want to wake up in the morning, do your hair, you don't want to come out with a bad hairdo, you want to do your nails look good. That's for me what art is. It's just life.
Okay.
So because it's not just something I see as a business, I won't wake up and come out with a bad hair. That's me. I won't. So for me, with art, with fashion, which I now relate to art, I always want to be in the forefront of things, check what's new, what's relevant, what's in, and apply that to my business. So that's helped me to maybe kind of stay ahead or stay afloat in the business even after 15 years.
Okay, so I mean, what do you think makes your work stand out? Is it this passion that you put into it, or?
I guess so. I tell people, yes, a lot of hard work is good, but you have to have the passion and, you know, that zeal to go on. Because as people now know that, you know, the fashion business is not an easy business.
No,
because at some point people thought, okay, those in fashion, they're like easy way out.
Yeah.
They didn't do well in school, but now they see that it's not just even about, you're not just a fashion designer because you make beautiful clothes. A lot has to be put into it. You know, now there's a big gap where you have to go and even learn the fashion business of it. If not, you could just be making beautiful clothes and not making money. So for me, I have put into, you know, perspective all of that. So yes, those are courses that you could take online or listen to seminars, you know, to get ahead with the fashion business and, you know, fashion commerce, as I'll say. So I never, you know, pass a chance to get all of those knowledge, and it's helped me to stay ahead in the business.
Okay, so I mean, have you had insatiable clients, people that you can never please?
Of course, believe me. Even God bless his soul, Gianni Versace would have at some point had the customer be like, "Oh, Gianni, I wanted you to do it this. Can you add more this and all of that?" So yes, we always do. You know, it comes up. Well, women are insatiable. God made it that way. So, but the balance is to find, you know, a way to see, you know, reasons from your client's perspective. For me, yes, people say, "Oh, Doris sees herself as an artist, so it's hard to, you know, buttress your own point to her." And I say, no, that's not the case. I will give you a professional opinion that this is how I see it because for me, before a garment is even made, I already know how it looks finished. Once I hold on to a fabric, I have already seen the finished work. So I will tell you that your body size, your height, complexion doesn't fit that. And sometimes customers will, you know, bug heads with you, and sometimes I would have to let it slide and go through with that. But yes, but I've never had to let any customer walk away from me unhappy. Even if there won't be a repeat of business, I will try to see that we reach that compromise where they are happy of some sort, and I could still live with myself knowing that I tried all I could.
And then what because there are instances like that. Being a former dressmaker myself, I know that there are instances you have advised the clients and etc. and they insist, and so it happens. How do you manage it?
Like I say, I will never let clients walk out angry. So in that case, obviously I told you so would come first. Then I pick it up, because for me, I see fashion as an art. I could totally revamp a dress from one thing into another. I have the ability to do that, and sometimes that is a blessing at a cost, because people working with clothes that were badly done somewhere else, or clothes that they bought ready-made, they were like, when I was buying this dress from London, I knew it wouldn't fit, but I told myself my designer Doris is going to do something, and I told them, stop looking at me like that. They'll be like, I know Doris was going to do something, and sometimes yes, we end up pulling it apart, recreating it again, because I love to do that. That whole recreation, starting from a scratch is something I love. So yes, we do that a lot. When I've warned you against not going the way you were going, and you went that way and it didn't turn out well, I won't leave you like that, because it actually started in my place of business. So I would see that we get to a place where you can actually walk out with the item.
That's so much commitment, isn't it?
Thank you, Mama.
That's a lot of commitment to your work. So we are thinking, you have a social life, and you're not dressmaking is one business, because I've had a stint at it. You are on your machine till very late, so you are the last person to have a dress.
I know.
And, you are among the last to get to the event. But I mean, you are a very social person. How do you manage it?
It's tough, and just before the COVID, my last holiday abroad, I told myself, Doris, you have to. I didn't have one before now, so I'm happy that you noticed the change, that I actually started making time for myself to be out there, because for me, I was like, I am feeling another vacuum that is there, which is creating clothes for plus size. Don't get me wrong, I make clothes for every type of people. You've never been plus size, and I still make clothes for you. But I noticed that there's a vacuum where plus size women feel really like, okay, this fashion thing is not for us, so let's just come out anyhow. So I started making that conscious effort to come out. People see me in my outfits, and they'll be like, I know every time every
daring stuff.
Yes. Every time I come out, people be like, if she can pull that off, I can pull that. Sometimes people don't know. I get teary-eyed when I'm reading my chats or Facebook messages. I don't know them. These are women like, you're my role model. You make me feel good when I want to wear my dress. I come out seeing you pull things off and all that, and I'll be like, I didn't know that I had this much impact on people.
Are you such a plus size? I don't know.
I am a plus size. UK 18 is a plus size. Okay. We're trying to get it down, but yes, I'm a plus size, and I'm proud of it. Okay. I'm trying to live healthy, that's all.
Yeah, we should all be glad, because the slim person wants some flesh.
I know.
The fleshy person wants to drop some, and this is life, though. The Female Designers Association, was it necessary?
Oh my God, it was necessary. It's a long time coming. As a young girl, I spent most of my time in Lagos. I did my 6 years. I think who I am today, I'll give that credit to Lagos. My doggedness, my, steadfastness in business, and, trying to execute things to a certain level of professionalism. I got all that from Lagos. I'll give that,
No, Lagos gives that.
So
I can't take it away from
because I stayed there. My founding days, was in Lagos, and I still won't forget those. So I was in Lagos during the era of the Zizi Kado,
Zizi.
Modi.
Where is she now, by the way?
She's still doing, you know, yes, the young ones came in and bulldozed
their
way in.
With, social media, new media, all of that.
So I was Lexi. I was in the middle. My elder sister then was in the pageant industry, so I was the one running around her, getting all her costumes sorted out. So yes, I fell in love with the whole fashion scene in Lagos as at that time. There were no Maya Tafo, no Ejiro, as at what we have now. All those people were not there, but I was looking at these people. They were gradually building Lagos. They were gradually building the creative sector. They were gradually building the industry. They laid all the foundation that people are enjoying today.
I agree.
So coming back now to my own state, you know, because I was there for school, then IT, but when it came down to the point, I returned back home, and it was a ghost town. There was nothing. There was no talk. Then going to Uniport, seeing the crab, you know, who gave birth to a lot of big Nollywood artists today, and still nothing. You know, their industry didn't have that galvanizing force too. Then with the P-Man music sector, it was all scattered too. There was no unity. There was no togetherness. I have thought of, you know, coming with this for fashion, and it was hard. It was tough. People know that I got blowbacks from different people. Oh, who made you the king? Who made you the you know, the person to bring everyone together? And I was like, for me, it's more of, we need to do this. We need to be together. We're talking about, you know, having a fashion, you know, festival week. Port Harcourt should be one. Because if you have a fashion festival in Port Harcourt, it means you're going to have people from Aba coming, Bayelsa, Calabar. Look at Enugu, look at all the zone it will be feeding. But when you have those festivals in Lagos, it's a lot taxing. It's more expensive to fly people from Enugu to Lagos and all that. So for me, I felt that if we grew Port Harcourt to that state where we become a fashion city and start having fashion festivals, we will not only be helping ourselves, we'll be helping the whole Niger Delta to gain something out of this. So I said it has to start one day. So obviously we gathered people here and there. We're still gathering people. We're still asking people to come join us, because now people think it's sort of like a cult thing, or no, you have to be a certain person, you have to be friends. You don't have to know anybody. You just need to want to be, you know, in the group to help foster that relationship where we can now get that community. So let's say a bank wants to finance a fashion festival. They need to meet a community. They're not going to meet Jazz Effect. They're not going to meet, you know, Akwasopudu. They want to come and see a community. That's the only way they'll be like, okay, we can actually do this. We can actually invest here. So the association was formed so that there is a village. You know how they say it takes a village. We want to build that village, and we're gradually doing it. So we needed it. We needed to tell our own stories, because nobody was going to tell it for us. That was one of the reasons we formed the association.
So, though you have answered it, because we're going to ask you if it was an exclusive or open association.
Oh no, it's open. It's open. Obviously with some criteria, you know, to get in, but it's nothing. If you say you're a fashion designer, you can do. Obviously, you need to be registered. You need to have a place of business. You need to be serious about this, so that we don't look like a joke. You need to be, your online presence need to be at least of a certain level. So yes, and we're helping to even grow the young ones. So yes, sometimes we take people who just busted into the industry now. We're helping them make choices that they don't make mistakes that we made years ago and now trying to correct. So yes, it's that mentoring platform. We have it there, and it's like a sisterhood. We cry together, we laugh together, we play together. It's helped us, and it's broken that barrier of competition. It was so strong that it was killing us in Port Harcourt.
Especially unnecessary.
Really. And every day they get up on your Instagram and they see how the creatives in Lagos collaborate. You see a known creative collaborating with an unknown one, and 2 weeks after that one is gone, boom. But in Port Harcourt, it's a big deal. Getting to even call you, they're like, yeah, who's that? Oh no, talk to my manager or talk to this. But now with the association, I'm your girl. I don't need to talk to your manager. I want to speak to you. And we come together and do stuff. So it's that building of togetherness. For me, that's my most happiest. We used to look at each other from afar and just have perceptions about who this person is without even knowing them. So we're learning from each other, we're growing. It's an open association. You can call up to join. It's just to build River State. If we get that built, anybody who want to partner with us and do something credible,